Good morning. How are you? Well, it's a beautiful day, and it's the day before Christmas, and so people will be out celebrating Christmas Eve. And it's not really supposed to be about Santa Claus, is it? It's supposed to be about a young couple that can't find a place to stay, and she's pregnant. And that's the story we should be talking about because that's the one about love and community and getting along and helping each other. And we couldn't have a better time in the nation, in the world perhaps, for us to care to get along better and to do things to help each other. In that category, turning to the criminal docket, you may remember that Dante Wright was killed because and this is basically because he had an air freshener in the wrong place in his car. That was the basis of the stop, driving while black. And because he resisted arrest, an officer named Potter shot him. She claimed she thought she was just going to shock him because she didn't believe it was her gun. She believed it was a taser. But it was a gun, and she killed him. And she's been prosecuted for it, and she's been convicted of it, and she'll spend some number of years from 9 years up, depending upon the sentencing guidelines. This is important more than this case because it sends a message that law enforcement officers will tell the truth about their colleagues when they break the law themselves. Because of the color line, it's important in a nation that's very uneasy about the visible new discrimination and racism. And it's important because it was so cleanly done, meaning there are no major problems with the prosecution or the case. So that's a harbinger, I hope, of things to come in which we follow the facts. We have another situation in America which just seems to defy sensibility. And it is why people would want to get on planes and travel everywhere when there's a new virus in the neighborhood. And the new virus has shut down a lot of flights across the country. And I can't imagine anything that would be less fun than being at an airport on a big holiday with no way to get back to where you came from, perhaps, or to where you're going, particularly if you have connecting flights. This new variant, Omicron, nobody's yet gotten their hands on it. Is it really less severe? But it certainly knocks the hell out of vaccines. And apparently, it doesn't pass from one person to another when the person who, quote, has it is asymptomatic. The person, and that's the story on that. And one person said regrettably, but sensibly, that this means no churches this year, no hugs. And there are exceptions to that, of course, people living together who've been, triple vaxxed by now, meaning including the booster. And there's a fourth shot coming along the way, and until that comes and we know what it is, we won't know what new freedom we have. But this is the worst time to be thinking in the winter about reaching out and going everywhere. We're going to pay a big price, I think, for this holiday season. The committee on the Hill, the so-called Insurrection Committee, is very concerned about the 187 minutes in which Trump did nothing on January the 6th. And I do think that in and of itself is probable cause for at least nonfeasance in office. That is, you failed to perform your job. And that you had all this notice that you should by Meadows, who's now supplied 9,000 pages, which include text messages and a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm hoping that we're going to go from investigating on the Hill to investigating by a prosecutor. There have been stronger statements by Biden in recent days. And I think those signal to Garland, our Attorney General, that perhaps he can be more active. I have to think that Garland has been inactive because that's what Biden wanted. We'll find out in a year or two. These things always come out. Joan Didion died, and she was a great writer. There's no question about it. But I could never get over her support of Goldwater. and why Goldwater, who was, I think, more extreme, she finally recoiled when Reagan was the president. And in my years as a party leader, my friends out there, you tell me if I'm right or not. The people who were Republicans who became Democrats never really became Democrats. I don't know. It's a genetic thing about empathy, about the kinds of issues that Democrats have. I'm not saying it's determinative, but if you look around, there seems to be a history that goes with this. Okay, so maybe it's all crazy, but it does seem to be that way to me. And in the category of the big lie, Putin is going around saying that the problem with Ukraine is the West. The West has made a problem. There's no problem there. Well, come on, he has 90,000 troops on the border. There have been hostilities there for some time, initiated by Putin, and so he's saying it's the West. The madness continues. We have a few days this weekend to be with our friends in person or virtually, to perhaps open a hardcover book and read 5 or 8 pages, maybe from Joan Didion, and we should just enjoy it, and then get back to the the pissing match that has become the American way, and not forget who we are and taking care of ourselves. So, all the best to you and your family. Holly and I are going to have a very quiet. We're going to go out to a place where we can have dinner outside remotely, and perhaps walk in a nearby garden over in West Virginia. So that's our exciting day. Hope you're well. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.